You've been taught to look outside, to wait, to chase, to fix. But what if none of that was real? What if you've spent your life answering questions that were never yours to ask? This is not motivation. This is not inspiration. This is remembrance of what you already are, of what's already yours, and how stillness, not effort, opens the door to everything you seek. Now let's begin. Stop reacting to the physical world, for now and evermore. You must understand, your reactions are not innocent. They are agreements. Every reaction is a confirmation that the illusion has power over you. If the world you see is nothing but a reflection of your state of consciousness, then to react to it is to be ruled by your own shadow. It is the ego convincing you that what appears outside has authority over what you know within. But the truth is the opposite. The outer has no existence apart from the inner. When you react to lack, you become lack. When you react to delay, you become delay. You reinforce what is false by treating it as if it were true. This is why the great ones remained still. The stillness was not passivity. It was dominion. It was mastery. It was the silent knowing. This too is mine to command. So you must stop reacting. Not later. Now withdraw the power you gave to the shadows. They never held it. It was yours all along. Stop trying to change the physical world. It doesn't exist. This may be the hardest truth to accept, but until you accept it, you will remain a slave to the mirror. The physical world, what you touch, see, hear, is not reality. It is an echo, a residue, a delayed printout of your inner state. Trying to change it is like rearranging your reflection, hoping your face will change. It is delusion. Real change is internal. It is invisible. You go within and shift your concept of self. You revise what you assume to be true. You adopt a new identity in silence, and then, only then, the world conforms. You do not force the old picture to become something else. You replace the film. You become someone new, and the image must obey. Stop acting on the outer. Stop pleading with circumstances. Stop negotiating with the hologram. Go within, close the door, and change your mind. The world will follow. You already have what you want. It is done. Desire is not a sign of lack. It is a sign of possession. You could not want what is not already yours in consciousness. The desire itself is proof that the thing exists and is ready to be claimed. But here's the trap. You were taught that wanting means needing. You were taught that desire points to what is missing. This is false. This is inversion. The truth is this. When the desire arrives, your only job is to assume it fulfilled. That is all. Not to work for it, not to chase it, not to wonder how or when, but to enter into the state of its completion, now in this moment. Repeatedly, consistently, you do not plant a seed and then dig it up every morning to check for roots. You water it, you trust it. You live as though it is growing because it is. So too with your desires. Stop calling them future. Stop calling them hope. Say, it is done. And be still. Change your mind, not your circumstances. Circumstances are temporary reflections of persistent assumptions. That is all. They are not solid. They are not authority. They are projections of identity, the self you've accepted as true. And that self can change. You change it not by effort, but by decision. You decide, I am no longer the one who lacks. I am the one who has. You decide it. You accept it. You live from it. Do not try to change the world while remaining the same within. That is spiritual insanity. That is chasing smoke. Instead, close your eyes and embody the new self. Feel the reality of it. Let it saturate your being. Do this daily, hourly, whenever the old world tempts you back into agreement with lack. Your mind is the key. Not your action, not your struggle, just the mind, surrendered to truth. There is no truth outside of consciousness. The world is not objective, it is selective. It reflects not what is real, but what is dominant in your awareness. This means truth is not fixed, it is flexible. What is true for you becomes your reality, not because it exists independently, but because you have accepted it. You must stop treating appearances as law. You must stop worshiping the facts. The facts change. They always have. What was impossible yesterday is common today. The only truth is what you accept as true. The only law is what you consistently feel to be real. This is not fiction. This is divine architecture. You are not discovering reality. You are creating it from within. So choose carefully what you call truth. It will obey you. It doesn't matter how or when. It matters that you know. The mind screams for details. It wants a timeline, a plan, a process. But the deeper self knows none of that is real. The deeper self knows that assumption is creation, that knowing is enough. To ask how is to doubt it is done. To ask when is to declare it is not now. These questions break the spell. They drag you out of the state of the wish fulfilled and back into the desert of separation. So do not ask. Do not beg. Do not search. Know. Know that it is done. Know that it is yours. Know that it is unfolding perfectly, even when your senses report silence. Faith is not blindness. It is clarity in the absence of evidence. It is the inner roar. It is mine, because I said so. The physical must conform, but it will reflect what dominates your mind. There is no escaping this law. The outer world is a slave to the inner. It has no will of its own, but it is patient. It will reflect whatever you give it long enough. You may think you're manifesting from hope, but hope is not creation. Hope is waiting. Hope is uncertainty. The world reflects your dominant assumption, not your affirmations, not your effort, not your emotion, but the deep, consistent inner claim, this is who I am. If you say, I am wealthy, but feel lack, speak of lack, look for lack, you will receive lack. The mirror listens to your being, not your words. You must saturate the mind with the new story. You must let it take over your reactions, your imagination, your self-talk. And then, only then, the world will yield. Do not be fooled by appearances. They lag, but they will conform. You must understand, your mind is not a tool to use. It is the world itself. When Neville spoke of changing your reality, people mistakenly believed he was giving them tactics to manipulate the external world, to shift matter like a magician moving pieces on a board. But that is not what he meant. He was never talking about the illusion of bricks and bodies, about cause and effect in the physical domain. He was pointing at the origin of the illusion, the mind. This world, as you see it, is a delayed echo, a mirage born from sustained thought, focused identity, and belief crystallized over time. When he said to change your mind, he was speaking of a shift in being, not thinking, not adding positive thoughts on top of negative ones, not repeating mantras while still living in fear, but truly, deeply, irrevocably identifying with the state in which the wish is already fulfilled. and dwelling there in silence and assurance. It is not about convincing yourself. It is about remembering. Remembering that your desire is not something to reach for. It is already part of the self that you truly are, in the only place that exists, consciousness. So let go of the temptation to interfere. You do not need to supervise reality like a project manager. The world reflects your mind automatically, lawfully, without fail. It is a passive consequence of being. You cannot force it, only embody it. You do not need to help it happen, only to stop doubting that it already has. Every time you shift attention from having to not having, you delay the reflection. Stay loyal, live from the end. Walk in the echo of fulfillment, not in the anticipation of results. You'll be tempted. You'll look at the world and think, nothing's changing. But remember this, your senses lie. It is perhaps one of the greatest tests, to walk through a shadow and believe in the light, even when you can't see it. You will witness the old world again and again. The circumstances, the problems, the delays, they will parade before your eyes like ghosts refusing to die. But you must not flinch. The external world is not telling you what is, it is telling you what was. It is a time delay, a printout from a prior version of your consciousness. When you see it, you are already past it, but only if you choose to be. The mind wants to react. It wants to say, see, it's not working, this is proof. But this is the final illusion. This is where people fall. This is where they return to begging, trying, doubting. But if you understand that reality is only ever an echo, then you also understand. Change begins in silence and emerges in layers. Stay loyal to the inner world. Let the chaos outside collapse under its own irrelevance. You are the author, not the reader. Let go of waiting for confirmation. Let go of the need for signs. Let go of the addiction to checking. The signs follow, they do not precede. And if you insist on needing them first, you are still trying to be convinced instead of being. Your job is not to fix the screen. Your job is to project from a new real, one of complete assurance, one of fulfilled identity. Stand in that state until it burns away every trace of the old. That is the price. That is the only sacrifice, the sacrifice of disbelief. Desire is memory in disguise. You don't want something new. You're trying to return to who you really are. This is the greatest secret that most never see. What you want already exists, not just in potential, but in identity. The desire is not leading you somewhere. It is calling you back. You think you're moving toward it. In truth, you're only removing the veils that have hidden it from view. Desire is not future-oriented. It is self-recognition. You are not trying to get something. You are remembering your own wholeness. Manifestation is not creation. It is permission. You give yourself permission to embody the version of yourself where this already is. You stop delaying it by thinking you are unworthy, unready, or incomplete. This is why techniques are not the answer. This is why effort collapses on itself. Because the more you try to get, the more you reinforce that you don't have. But when you realize that your desire is already a vibrational match to a version of yourself, you stop chasing and start choosing. So the question isn't, how do I get this? The question is, am I willing to become the one who already has it? That's the real doorway. That's the only leap, and that's the only work that matters. Everything else is reflection. Everything else is delay. And if you become it, truly, without flinching, without double-mindedness, the world will not hesitate. It cannot. The law doesn't check your worthiness. It checks your state of being. The world you see is not a prison, unless you believe it is. It is not even a challenge to overcome. It is your own mind, externalized, neutral, lawful, reflective. You are not here to become more. You are here to remember you are already whole. You are not a seeker of light. You are the light misidentified with the shadow. Every moment you are selecting states. Every second you are affirming identity, not with words, but with focus, with feeling, with being. There is no delay in consciousness. There is no waiting in awareness. What you assume to be true, you become, and what you become, the world must reflect. So walk now, not as the one who hopes, but as the one who knows. You are not here to change the world. You are here to change the one who sees it. If this message resonated, if something ancient within you stirred, then this channel is your sanctuary. A place to return again and again when the illusion feels loud and the truth feels distant. Subscribe and step deeper into remembrance. Leave a comment if you feel called, and remember, your only job is to be who you already are. The rest will echo accordingly.